Hey, what's up, family?
Hey,
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Hey, man, it's 2020, man.
Yes.
If you do not know, my name is Nnamdi.
And I am TK.
And you are tuned into
Unqualified Opinion.
No, I'm not perfect, no. I made my mistakes, and no, all I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional. I don't deserve it, no, but it would be worth it all. All I want is love unconditional. Love unconditional.
We are back, man, and we are so
Yes.
grateful that you tuned in once
Thank
again,
you.
man. So grateful for that, man. Just been getting still love and support
Yes.
for what we've been doing here.
Thank
It's
you
been blessing some
again.
people, man. And so we're back with just a little bit more, something that God's put on our heart here recently, babe.
Yeah.
What we gonna talk to him about?
Well, you know, it's the new year. Everybody has their goals. New Year's resolutions are going all
Yeah,
around.
man.
You see it all on social media, and most of them probably have to do with fitness.
Yeah,
Some
hey,
of
man.
y'all
Let's
getting
go get
buff. Some of ladies want to get thick. We want to lose the belly fat. Even might want to be a vegan or pescatarian, cleaning up your
bless you.
food, which is great. These are great goals to have because God wants us to take care of our temple. But some of you might even have goals of praying more, of reading the Bible, of studying, which is awesome. We do not want to neglect
deeper.
the spiritual goals that we need to have, and I think that a goal that all of us should have as followers of Christ is spiritual maturity.
Yeah.
And a part of spiritual maturity we want to tap into in this video is dealing with conflict the healthy way, God's
healthy
way.
way, yeah.
And I think there's like this misconception that you're considered messy if there's conflict. You shouldn't have so many issues and so many different problems and confronting and all. It's considered messy. But let me tell you guys, that is not biblical.
Totally false.
Don't
man.
let them lie to you.
Straight up, man. If you're a believer, man, for those who are believers that's watching this right now, man, you know that just being a Christian, living out, our values, what we
Our
believe,
morals,
man,
what we
right
stand
away,
for.
that's offensive.
It's offensive.
That causes a lot of times conflict.
Even amongst Christians, it's offensive.
Yeah, it
those
really
who call
is.
themselves believers that might be in a different pace than you are in your walk. Some things will offend people.
Yeah.
And emotionally healthy spirituality.
Yeah, by Peter Scazzaro.
yes.
I'm probably saying it a little bit wrong, but hey.
Oh my gosh,
a great
amazing book. But he says, Jesus shows us that healthy Christians do not avoid conflict.
Wow.
His life was filled with it. He was in regular conflict with the religious leaders, the crowds, the disciples, even his own family. Out of the desire to bring true peace, Jesus disrupted the false peace all around him.
Yeah.
He refused to spiritualize conflict avoidance.
Man, let me tell you, Jesus brought it straight.
That's so good.
Man. We see him in the Bible where he's just flipping tables over. He's getting angry at certain things, man. People, if they calling him out, he's going directly right back at them in person, man. He did not shy away from conflict. That is so true.
It's so
man.
good. And just a part of that quote that really stood out to me is Jesus disrupted the false peace all around him. And I think that as Christians and believers, that we can live in that.
Yeah.
We have issues with people, we have offenses in our heart, and we just like a word that's been thrown around in 2019 is being unbothered. But you're bothered, and you're living in false peace.
False peace, man. And a lot of times what happens is that that issue, that thing that we're harboring up, babe, like we're literally just soaking in that. You understand? So it becomes even worse.
It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Walking around in false peace, pretending that everything is okay, it does not go away.
Man.
And I think that we've seen this done, dealing with conflict. I believe we've seen it done so terribly. And one of those things, two of those things is avoidance and gossip. When we get news or we hear a rumor or we've been, someone said something about you and it's been brought back to you, that hurts. And it's okay to be bothered by words of people. We are not robots, y'all. And once again, this whole unbothered thing that's been going around, it hurt. Even if a stranger, that probably makes it even worse. Like you don't even know me and you're saying terrible things about me.
The real talk is this, man. words can hurt.
Words
they
do
can
hurt,
man. And I, just from own personal experience, we've been through some things where false things were told. You can check out the previous videos.
Yeah.
We went through some things where people had lies about us in their mouths, and when we get back to us, man,
it hurt.
That hurt like
severely
bad. I couldn't even be like
I didn't know.
Hashtag unbothered, because I was very bothered.
Very bothered.
Really. So.
And we just know that the gossiping, first of all, it's so alive in the body of Christ, and it just shouldn't be. Yeah. God is not pleased with that. I can read countless scriptures, but just a few of them. In Exodus 23:1, it says, "You must not pass along false rumors. You must not cooperate with evil people by lying on the witness stand." In James 4:11, it says, don't speak evil against each other. Dear brothers and sisters, if you criticize and judge each other, then you are criticizing and judging God's law. And like I said, I can bring up countless scriptures of how God is not pleased with you running your mouth, basically. It's not healthy. And just talking with people that might not be spiritually mature, it creates assumptions, it creates scenarios, narratives. And
I think one of the things, one of the personalities that I enjoy sometimes is Charlemagne, man. He says, no one really cares about the truth because the lie is more entertaining.
And
he said something of that sort, man. And people, man, they're entertained
because the lie is so complex.
Yeah.
Like there's extra people involved. Yeah. There's holes involved. But the truth is just like, no, it's just boom, boom. Yeah. That's boring.
Yeah,
it's boring.
A lot of times, man, we're living in the land of assumption.
Yeah.
We don't even know, man. I've had it myself. We're not speaking from a self-righteous standpoint or anything like that. We've been guilty of it, man. I've assumed that somebody thought this or said this or whatever the case may be, instead of going directly to them, man. And so we don't want to live in that land of assumption, because that land of assumption could create a whole big old thing that is not real.
And just like to be like, y'all, just to keep it all the way real, y'all know, I don't know, maybe it's just a woman thing or maybe it's both, but we can add people in situations like, well, she best friends with such and such, so she probably was there. Oh, that's why when I ran into her at the mall, she was acting crazy. Yeah. And then when you actually talk to that person, she's like, what? Yeah. I knew nothing about that. And it's so dangerous to live in assumption, gossip, because 99% of the things that you are sharing and you're going back and forth with, they're not even real. They're all up in here. And so we don't want to just talk about all the things we've been doing, but we want to leave you with just some healthy ways in God's way of resolving and handling conflict. And I believe number one and first as a priority is praying. Praying, talking to the Lord, because a lot of times, we want to make things about other people. Well, she said that, he did that, well, they should have never did that, this was messy, I was involved, when it's not even them and what they did that offended you. It's some internal things. It's some things that what they did, it reminded you of something or someone you've been hurt by before. So a lot of times I think it's so important to talk with the Lord and allow him to minister back to you and show you some things. I mean, just to give like a funny example, like, I used to smoke, and if such and such wouldn't take me to go get my Black and Mild, I'm mad at them.
Man, now, she was addicted.
I was addicted. Now, why would I confront you because you didn't take me to the gas station and just completely ignore the fact that I'm addicted to smoking? I'm going to jump over that whole boop. And that's why it's important.
It's just easier sometimes, I think, that
to
people
blame
do
others.
That is to point the blame, man, instead of looking right directly in the mirror at yourself.
And that's what speaking to the Lord will do for you. There's been things that I have heard about myself. There's been just rumors that I've heard, and I have not confronted them because I talk to the Lord, and if it's true or not, he's shown me something about myself through finding that information out. Why am I so angered by people's opinions? Actually, you're validated by that. When I should be validated by you. So it digs into something deeper that has nothing. Y'all, we sometimes we're confronting people when we need to be confronting ourselves. And so that leads into number 2, babe.
Which is go directly to the person quickly.
Yes.
don't do a bunch of chatter. Don't go left. Don't go
all
right. Go
around.
directly to it. Now, I think that this is one of the things that my wife and I have probably had
in common.
We got that in common, that we never really shy away from confrontation, man. Just to kind of give a little background.
We actually not like it, but we prefer to knock things out.
Yeah, I just
don't
get
like
it on
living,
out the way.
I don't know even how people can live in that stuff. That stuff is.
Know.
Oh.
it gotta be draining, man.
It's so draining.
It gotta be draining, man. But I'd rather deal with facts. I'd rather deal with facts than
shut my assumptions down.
That, you know?
Shut it down.
Yeah. And so, overall, man, one of the things in my background is I've done management. I've done management in retail. And when you're doing that, you're dealing with so many different type of personalities. And I've had times when I got one rep who comes to me and says, so-and-so is doing this while you're gone, and this is, that person doesn't need to be, trying to go up the ladder and all that other stuff. And then that same person, the person that the person's talking about, comes to me and starts saying something about the other person. And so what I do is I take both parties and I will bring them together. Yeah. Because the main thing that the enemy wants to do with the gossip, with the chatter, is he wants to divide. Division. He wants to break up the chemistry. We are one body. As believers, we are one body, man. And so when you're speaking ill on another believer, a lot of times, man, hey, you're harming yourself at the same time, man.
Oh my gosh.
He wants us to be divided. Powerful sides could come together. If they could come together, that would be big. You have divisions amongst churches. You got churches that could join with other churches and do some things, but they have assumptions or think one thing of the other church. Or you got some people
in competition.
Or you got people that saying, maybe it's in music and Christian music, or it may be people that's in the same church, walking the same halls, praising the same God, but at the same time we have division, and the enemy comes to do that. So like I said, I would bring people together and say, hey, listen, you got this issue, this person, you have this issue, let's talk it out and let's figure it out. And man,
shuts it down.
It shuts it all the way down. And that's been very successful for myself and me in growing a team. So I use that same type of thing when it comes to when I'm dealing with other.
And you know that when we gossip and we're letting stuff prolong, that 2-minute conversation that you can have with that person can shut down years of lies and gossip, and the enemy does not want that. Y'all, do not let the enemy win by keeping you in avoidance of people that you have offenses with. That is letting I don't care how much you worship, I don't care how much you pray, I don't care how much you fast. You need to go to that person and speak to them directly. It doesn't matter how deep you think you are in Christ. If you are not handling people right, if your heart is not right towards people, God is not pleased.
Yeah, man. It says in the word, man. It says to leave your offering right there and go deal with that offense, man. Yeah. Go drop everything. Go deal with it.
Don't be afraid. And just to lead into our last point, which is listening with an open heart. When you go to that person, go in seeking understanding. Go in excited for peace, for resolution, for closure. I know as women, we go in with screenshots. Well, in 2012, you said this, and we go in with messages, and we go in with dates.
That sounds like y'all in marriage too. Y'all come in with everything. Y'all got the dates. Y'all
try to bring
everything.
Something up. I remember in March of 2015, you said,
everything.
But that's how we are as women. We go in and with these points to win an argument. Do please, y'all, it will do no good if you are going into confrontation to sit down with your brother and sister wanting to be right. That is not the point of it. You go in with understanding. And in Proverbs 4:7 it says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and all you're getting, get understanding. Go in there eager to understand their side. First of all, sometimes you go into this conversation and what you're angry about wasn't even said or wasn't even done. So go in there open. But if you just know they said this, and if you just ready to clap back and you just ready to prove your point, nothing happened, but more division. And so you don't want to go in there with your receipts, with your stacks of evidence, but you want to go in, I'm winning my sister back. I'm winning my brother back. We about to stomp on Satan's face right now.
Strengthening the body.
Strengthening the body. Get that closure. If you go in with that mentality, that is how you biblically deal with it. And I wanted to read a quote from
Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by Peter Scazzaro, man. Once again, get the book.
Get the book. It says, in some ways, the silence of unconcern can be more deadly than hate. Wow. That's just so good, because I think that we live in that. Like, I'm unbothered. I ain't tripping. I deal with who I deal with. But meanwhile, you are tripping. You are offended. So deal with that thing. Do not pretend that you are unbothered and you are unconcerned. Deal with it.
Man, drop what you're doing, man. As it says in the word, man. And then go and deal with that person, man. Don't act like you're unbothered, man. That conversation, man, could be a gateway to your next blessing. That conversation could be the gateway to a very great godly relationship, man. The enemy could be keeping you from that person, because together you guys are stronger, man. So that is very big.
Just like an example, I was thinking, like, when I felt that the Lord has told me to have a conversation or forgive somebody, and I didn't do it for maybe a year or something, and when I did it, I received an instant blessing that I've been praying for. And sometimes forgiving in those conversations, that stuff is attached to the blessing that you're waiting for. You want to overlook somebody, but the thing you're praying for, marriage, you're praying for more money, the new job. But God's like, but you ain't forgave so-and-so. So don't overlook that, because God cares about how you handle people. How do you handle people that you are so unconcerned about? How are you handling their hearts?
Come on. Yeah, man. And so, like I said, man, you guys, we want you to go into this new year, 2020, man. New year, no foolery, man. We're dealing straight with conflicts, man. We're not dealing with the gossip, man. We're going to the person, man, and we're loving on our brother and our sister. We're hearing where their heart is from, man. Like I said, we're coming together, all together, one strong, man. So go get the book, Emotionally Healthy Spirituality by Peter Scazzaro. And Beta Satan. That's another great book. That's
if you deal with offenses,
video.
get that book, man.
Yeah, man. And we've been there, man. And so we're here to just give you what we've gotten, man. What we've been fed, man. And so with our unqualified opinion, man, I hope that blesses you in a major way, man. Have a prosperous 2020, man. You'll be hearing from us more, man. And God bless you. We'll holler.
Okay.
It's working for your good. Look in your Bible if you need a reminder. It's working for your good.